And welcome to Larry Poe Field here in Coal City, West Virginia. This evening, Video Productions presents exciting girls softball. It's the Beckley Flying Eagles, 10-8, taking on the Independence Patriots. They are 15-6. Hello again, everybody. I'm Maris Lowry with Rusty Udy, and we think we're going to have a heck of a softball game here. We have the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, and Jackie Moon on camera. Well, Rusty, I guess the last time you and I were at a athletic event was the girls and boys state basketball tournament, and we flipped the page from basketball to spring sports, which is baseball, and then here this evening, softball. We think we should have a pretty good game between these two Raleigh County schools.
Yeah, both teams are really solid. I mean, Independence is really good. They're ranked number 5 in the state in AAA. Of course, Woodrow has one of the best pitchers in the state, and Aubrey Smallwood. So it should be a dandy. She's probably not going to pitch tonight because she pitched last night in a duel with Riley Redden over at Greenbrier West over at Woodrow's Field. So we'll get to see the young freshman, Carly Fraley. And it's kind of funny because, you know, of course, she has her sister as the catcher now. And I was more familiar with her sister, and, you know, she came up this year. So I've kind of been batting their names around back and forth as to, you know, one should be one should be the other. They've been kind of laughing at me a little bit, but should be interesting. I mean, she's a good little freshman pitcher, and I think she's going to be a really good one. And
we'll get into that, as you mentioned. Fraley and Fraley's the battery for Beckley. And we look at this Independence team. They're 15-6, but they got off to a really good start. They won 12 of their first 13 games, and like I said, they built a 15-6 slate. Beckley 10-8, so both teams over 500, and it should be very interesting. The weather's cooperated. It got a little cloudy, looked like it was going to threaten to rain, but we've got actually a nice breeze, and we think it's going to be a great evening for softball.
Oh, it's going to be great. I mean, you know, last night was kind of battling the rain a little bit, the baseball games, but you know, this is perfect weather, and actually usually it's really, really windy up here on the hill, but that's, you know, just mild wind right now, so you know, we should have a good one.
This is the first of 4 games that Video Productions will be doing this spring. Of course, we'll be back here Thursday, a Raleigh County battle when Independence takes on Shady. Then next Monday, it'll be Liberty against Independence. And then next Tuesday, a week from tonight, it'll be Logan against Shady. We'll take a break, come back, give you the starting lineups as you're watching live streaming coverage of girls softball here on Video Productions.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
You have a goal. You know what you want. Start with us, New River Community and Technical College, your community college. Take classes online or in a classroom in Beaver, Lewisburg, Summersville, or Princeton, or step outside the classroom in one of our technical or health programs. Find flexible and affordable options to help you reach your goal. It's closer than you think when you start with us, New River Community and Technical College. Apply today.
Thinking about new windows, doors, or siding? Then Window World of Beckley is here to help. We're making it easy with no interest for 18 months. Increase your curb appeal with energy-efficient products that have earned the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Let's get started. Call for an in-home consultation. Window World of Beckley, America's #1 exterior remodeler.
And we welcome you back to Larry Poe Field here at Coal City, West Virginia on the campus of Independence High School. This afternoon's game is brought to you in part by Indoor Air, your train dealer. Nothing stops the train, as you can dial up the fine folks at Indoor Air at 304-890-2212. And Jeff Varney and staff will take excellent care of you. Also, the game this afternoon brought to you in part by Infinity Co. Company. Infinity Co. offers no premium and a low deductible health insurance with dental and vision coverage. They also offer company-paid life insurance, prescription drug coverage, and a company-matching 401k plan. So it's the Lady Flying Eagles against the Lady Patriots, and Rusty Beckley are being introduced right now, and you have the starting lineup for the Flying Eagles.
They'll go. They'll start out with Hadley Rhett in the leadoff spot, followed by Shaylee Sexton, and All-Stater Aubrey Smallwood will bat third. The Fraley girls will bat 4 and 5. Casey will bat 4, and Carly will bat 5. Rose Tucker will bat 6. Lily Collins 7. Alyssa Reinhardt 8, and Emma Brickford will round it out at number 9.
And for Independence, they'll give this way. The top of the order will be Bradbury, Parks, and Lily. That's Emma Lily, because they'll have Bella Lily batting in cleanup. They'll also have coming in at the 5th hitter for Independence will be Peyton Brim. And then the 6th hitter will be, if I can read my own writing
Savannah
here. Stanley, yep, you have to help me out here, Rusty. And then the 7th hitter will be Emma Sampson. And the 8th hitter for Independence will be Cook. And then the 9th hitter will be the pitcher, Pierce. The batteries for Beckley, as we touched about earlier, will be Fraley and Fraley, the two sisters.
Right.
It'll be Carly pitching to Casey, and then over for Independence, it'll be Pierce and Parks will be the battery. So Beckley will be wearing the maroon and black uniforms, and they are lined up down the first baseline. Independence now taking their position. Independence wearing red trimmed in navy blue. So Independence will defensively will look like this. They'll have Reinhardt in left. A big part for Independence. They'll have Cook in left, Lily in center, and Stewart in right. It'll be Simpson at third, Bella Lily at short, Bradbury at second, and Brim at first. And the battery, once again, will be Pierce and Parks. We'll take another break, come back and get you ready for the first pitch, as it's Beckley 10-8 taking on Independence 15-6. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
So you're ready to get started on that home remodel? Then America's #1 exterior remodeler is here to help. For over 19 years, Window World of Beckley has helped homeowners in our area take care of their greatest investment. We make it easy to remodel your home with special financing options and convenient monthly payments. Because we are locally owned and operated, you can expect the best in customer service. We're excited to see what you have in mind.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General Store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General Store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
At Access Health, we treat your children the way we want our children to be treated, with care, compassion, and expertise.
We focus on treating the person, not just the symptom. Your health and well-being are our priority.
And when you face uncertainties, we are there with advanced technology and compassionate care.
And we welcome you back to Independence High School here at Larry Poe Field. I'm Maris Lowry with Rusty Udies. We're getting ready to get the ball game started here this evening. Once again, the Flying Eagles come in at 10-8. Independence are 15-6. And, you know, Rusty, one of the things we were talking about, like the way the field is really, the dimensions of the field, it's 200 all the way around, foul pole to foul pole, down both the left and right field line and to dead center.
Yeah, this is a beautiful field. It's been, you know, Tom Povey did a lot of work on this field and made it really nice over the years. And, you know, naturally it should be named after him because, you know, he had some great teams here at Independence. And it's as good a field as you're going to play on. I mean, the surface is perfect. The grass outfield is really nice. So I like the backdrop. You know, you got the woods in the background. You can see really well. And typically we get some good hitting in this ballpark.
Yep. Independence is taking the field once again. In the outfield going left to right is Cook, Lilly, and Stewart. In the infield around the horn from third to first, it's Simpson at third, Lilly at short, Bradbury at second, Brim at first, and the battery is Pierce and Parks. First three hitters due up for Beckley will be Rhett, Sexton, and Smallwood. And Rusty, we're just about ready to get the game underway.
Yeah, the top of the Beckley order has been pretty solid. I mean, they've hit the ball pretty well all year. Rhett had a game-winning hit the other night, walk-off hit, and of course, Shaylee Sexton's a veteran too. She's really done really well this year. I've noticed, you know, every game we get, you know, she's got a hit or two. So they've got some hitters. You know, I mean, it's the Independence got a really good pitcher, so it's going to be tough.
All right, so Rhett will step in. We'll get the ball game started. Rhett leading off. She's hitting .347 with 3 runs driven in. Hits from the right-hand side of the plate. Pierce is ready, and here's the first pitch of the ball game, and we're underway as that's a little high and outside for ball one.
Kind of weird sitting up here and there's no wind blowing. I'm wondering how it affects the pitchers. You just don't get that up here very often.
Yeah, how it affects our here at the table is there's a big cut and a miss, so our papers don't
Exactly.
blow and fly every which way. So Pierce is ready as he looks in to Parks, and here comes the 1-1 offering. And that's over the corner for a called strike.
That was a good pitch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing, you know, Rusty, location.
Absolutely. And Pierce was really good in the postseason last year, especially against Shady, and where Independence make that comeback in the sectional.
And there's a swing and a miss for the first out, strike 3. So Red is down swinging, and that's the first out of the Beckley first inning. And now it'll be Smallwood. Smallwood batting .385 with 7 runs driven in.
Now, I think that's Sexton coming up now. Yeah, Shady Sexton.
Oh, I beg your pardon. It is Sexton. Smallwood is on deck.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon.
She's been playing
You are
well.
Correct. See, I knew there's a reason, Rusty, I needed you to help me out a little bit.
It's easy to get it mixed up.
Yeah, his ball is hit. It's in fair play. First baseman calls it off. Yeah, I got to get the rust off a little bit as Brim is able to squeeze it for the second out of the inning.
I'm gonna kind of think she maybe not like that swing once she thinks about it, because that ball was up a little bit on the first pitch, and you know, you kind of did the pitcher a favor a little bit there.
Smallwood will now be the batter with 2 out, nobody aboard, batting .353, 1 home run, 13 runs driven in.
Yeah, Aubrey's going to University of Charleston. She's a really good player, really good pitcher, and she can do it all. She can hit, play good defense on the infield, but I'm pretty sure she'll be a pitcher down there.
And, you know, Rusty, I think that's important, like laying off that first pitch. It's high,
right,
and you want to make sure, you know, that you don't swing it pitches, you know, out of the strike zone. This ball is hit, and it's going to be a little blooper there into right field, and that's going to be the first hit of the ball game. So a 2-out single for Smallwood.
Yep. I mean, we were always taught when we hit, you know, you got a certain zone you want to see the ball in, and there's certain pitches you want to hit till you get 2 strikes. And you know, looked like Aubrey was looking in that zone. She got a pitch she could hit, and then drove it up over into right field for a base hit.
So Beckley has a base runner with 2 out, and the cleanup hitter will be Casey Fraley at 167, only 2 RBIs. Only her 7th plate appearance.
Yeah, she's only been back for a couple games. Had a shoulder issue there for quite a while, and wasn't sure actually if she was going to be able to play or had to have surgery. Those things are really tricky. You know, they are hard to diagnose, and but they think she's going to be, you know, can't hurt it any worse. She just has to bear the pain right now, and so she's pretty excited to be back.
And this ball was hit on the ground. It's hit right to the shortstop. They'll make the throw across the diamond. That will end the inning. Beckley will have a hit, leave 1, middle of the first inning. It's Beckley nothing and Independence coming to bat. We'll be right back here on Video Productions. welcome you back to Coal City, West Virginia on the campus of Independence High School. What a beautiful Tuesday evening here in southern West Virginia. I'm Maris Lowry with Rusty Udy. And Rusty, Beckley was able to get one hit, but they're not able to do anything after the 2-out hit, and now Independence will have an opportunity here in the bottom half of the first.
Yeah, I thought Fraley made good contact there, hit the ball really well. Unfortunately for her, it was just right at somebody, right at shortstop. So, you hate that. But Independence this is going to be the first inning's big key for Woodrow, because Independence is going to line up a tough start. Cassidy Bradbury, she's going to Glenville. She can actually, she can rip it. Ava Parks, she's just a sophomore, but I guarantee she'll be playing at the next level if she so chooses. She's that good. And she goes up with bad intentions when she goes to the plate. So she's special. And then you got Emma Lilly, who's an All-Stater, and she's going to Glenville. So they've got a brutal top three.
Yeah, and obviously that's why they've been able to be so good to score the runs like they do. As you talk about Bradbury, she's batting .450 with 1 home run and 20 runs driven in.
Yeah, and Independence doesn't play an easy schedule. They played good teams, and so for her to be hitting .450, that's quality, real quality.
The battery for Beckley is the sisters. It'll be Carly Fraley to Casey Fraley. So it is Carly on the mound, and she gets set to pitch to the Independence second baseman Bradbury, who hits from the left-hand side of the plate and lays off the first pitch.
It always seems to be the tough pitch is that, the high rise ball, but, she's very experienced. Cassidy can play.
And that's the whole thing, Russ. You got to have the discipline, like you said, to lay off those pitches that are out of the strike zone. And that's a good pitch right there, and that evens the count at 1-1.
Yep. Well, this is one of those things. It's like we're talking. If you put the ball down the middle of the plate on this group of Independence, they're going to punish you.
I thought the umpire called that a strike. Maybe not. They called it high. I beg your pardon with that. So I'm not trying to be the umpire. I thought, because I saw him move his hand, I thought he called it a strike.
Actually kind of gave it a raise up to show him it was up.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be the umpire. That's the only reason I said that. So that is the count, is at 3-0.
Right.
And the one thing about it, they're good enough. You don't want to give them any free passes as theirs taken all the way in a called strike.
Yeah, and it's weird. I watch softball and baseball a lot now. I played baseball for seemed like 100 years, and I think I got to hit a 3-0 pitch one time.
In our day,
not that way now.
You better not swing at a 3-0 pitch. Everything's changed now. Exactly. This one's fouled back, and now it's gone full. And good job here too by Carly Fraley to get behind 3-0 and now get it to full.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because she's kind of got it in her position now. If she can keep Bradbury off balance, she's got a shot here. But like I say, Cassidy is very experienced. She's deadly at the top of the order.
So Bradbury digs in from the left-hand side of the plate. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that'll be ball 4, and Independence will have the leadoff man aboard.
And that's a tough one to put on board because she's fast and she can steal bases, and Independence likes to run.
So that will bring up Parks, and Ava Parks hitting a whopping .533 with 29 runs driven in. And I'm sure when you got speed like Bradbury on the bases, you get one in the gap, she's probably going to score from first.
Yeah, and getting her on is crucial because, then you get better pitches. I mean, they know if the pitches aren't where the catcher can get them, if they're dirt, anything like that, it's going to move runners up. And there, we have steal right off the bat. So
yeah, and as you were talking, Bradbury able to get in scoring position down to second with nobody out. Here's the pitch, swung on. This ball's hit to left field, and that's going to go over the left fielder's head. It's up against the wall, and this should play to run. They're waving her home, and that's going to be an easy stand-up double in the first run of the ball game. An RBI for Parks. That will be Parks' 30th run driven in, and Independence takes a 1-0 lead.
She's tough. I'll tell you, she is tough. I like the way she approaches the game. I like the way she hits the ball. If you don't go up there with a mindset that you're going to attack, then you might as well not play.
So here is coming to the plate will be Emma Lilly. Lilly will step in.
And she's another one that likes to get after it. I mean, she's tough.
Yeah, hitting a whopping .500 with 2 home runs and 28 runs driven in.
Yeah, she can bust it.
So, like I said, a lot of very explosive. This ball's hit right to the third baseman.
Nice
job by Smallwood, and they record the out as the runner advances to third. But nice job by Smallwood. That ball was smoked down to third base.
Ball was juiced. It was.
Yes.
That was a very good play.
So there's the first out of the Independence first inning, and Parks able to take third. So 1 run already in, 1 out, runner at third, and it'll be Bella Lilly stepping to the dish for the Lady Patriots.
Another solid hitter right here. I mean, she's kind of quiet. You know, she don't probably maybe get the publicity that some of the others do, but she's very effective.
Well, batting .339 and 21 runs driven in. That's not too quiet. I know what you're saying. Just kind of this lets her game speak for herself.
Exactly. Well, and you got those ones in front of her hitting almost 500. It's easy to get kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah, Beckley in at the corners and maybe trying to cut down a run at the plate as the first pitch to Lily's over for a called strike.
That was a good pitch. I mean, I would probably have taken that too as a batter, but to get that call is a good start for Fraley.
And the 0-1, this ball swung on, hit in the air to center field. The center fielder's got a beat on it, will make the play for the out. The runner will tag. That ball was hit out there to Rhett, and Rhett able to haul it in. But I think if you're Beckley considering, I think you would trade it out to give up a run any time in that situation.
Yeah, and you can get 2 outs to this point. You know, you're in pretty good shape. But, you know, the thing about Independence is you know, they're not top-heavy like a lot of teams are. I mean, they're going to keep hitting through the lineup. I mean, Peyton Brim has been really hitting really well this year.
So Brim will now be the hitter as there's a called strike. So Brim will hit now with 2 out, nobody aboard, but 2 runs in here in the home half of the first inning for Independence. So Brim digs in from the left-hand side of the dish. That's a pretty good pitch right there, right there on the corner.
That was a real good pitch. Yeah, it's probably not an ideal pitch as a hitter, and you kind of let that one go. But, yeah, she made a good pitch there.
Yeah, now in the hole at 0-2, Brim set, waiting on the 0-2 pitch. And this ball is hit, and that's going to be a hit into right field. And she turns the corner but not able to advance. So that'll be the second hit of the inning. And a 2-out single by Brim.
Yeah, not sure if Fraley wanted quite to do that. I mean, sometimes the ball gets in places you don't want it. I mean, that was a little too easy with 2 strikes. And, of course, give credit to Peyton. She did a really good job of protecting there and getting the ball in play and getting the base hit.
Stanley now the hitter, batting .283, 2 home runs, 16 runs driven in. Takes a called strike. But if Beckley can get out of this inning only surrendering 2 runs, I think the way the inning started, when you walk the leadoff hitter, I think, you got to feel you're pretty good about that. Count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Savannah's a good little player. I mean, she really can pound it too, and might look a little deceptive, but she's a player.
Independence with a couple of runs in the inning, a couple of hits. And this ball's fouled back. The count will go to 1-2. She took a big cut at that one.
That was close.
They took a big cut at that. I parked way – hopefully they should have like a no-foul zone. I got here early enough to park far away.
I park over by the fence. So.
Yeah. And that's a little in. Count evens to 2-2.
The bad thing here is you got to watch this backstop because the way it kicks off that backstop, it comes right over where we're at.
Yep. We're located just kind of off of home plate. And here comes the 2-2. And now the count's gone full as the runner at first. Brim takes second.
As a pitcher, you gotta really like that. You kind of want that call, and as a pitcher, and Savannah did a good job of not going down low for it.
And this ball was hit out into left center field.
Yep,
they're not. Well, they hit it. What a nice play.
What a play
by Reinhardt out in left field, because I thought for sure it was going to get down.
Looked like a gapper. Yeah. It really did, yeah.
Independence able to score a couple. They get a couple hits at the end of 1. It's the Patriots 2, the Flying Eagles nothing. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Wow, that was a great play.
That was.
Has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
So you're ready to get started on that home remodel? Then America's #1 exterior remodeler is here to help. For over 19 years, Window World of Beckley has helped homeowners in our area take care of their greatest investment. We make it easy to remodel your home with special financing options and convenient monthly payments. Because we are locally owned and operated, you can expect the best in customer service. We're excited to see what you have in mind. We look forward to helping you create the home of your dreams.
This evening's game is brought to you by Indoor Air, your train dealer, and nothing stops the train. You can dial them up at 304-890-2212, and Jeff Varney will take excellent care of you. We're going to the top half of inning number 2. I'm Maris Lowry with Rusty Udy. The heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. Jackie Moon on camera, a 2-0 Patriot lead. And we'll now go to the bottom third of the Beckley batting order as Collins will lead things off. Well, I beg your pardon. We have Fraley to lead things off here in the second inning. I knew, Rusty, you need to help me out. Like I said, I'm still still a little rusty from the last time I've done a soft game. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 are the hitters, as this is hit foul over the first base dugout.
That was a good pitch by Pearson. She got the ball in on her hands a little bit and really kind of handcuffed her. She nothing really that Carly could do there.
So the count's 1-1. Carly Fraley, the batter.
Pitcher on pitcher.
Yes. Fraley, Tucker, and Collins. 5, 6, and 7. As counts 2-1. You know, I even made myself a note where to start, and I still missed that.
You got Woodrow just really kind of trying to find itself just a little bit.
And that's swung on. That was kind of a half swing right there.
Yeah,
like
try
to hold up. Yeah.
Fooled her a little bit.
Yeah.
So Woodrow's been struggling a little bit, all year. They've had their moments where they've hit the ball, but they've struggled at times too. And, they're coming off a 2-hit shutout last night, so they kind of need to see some balls, fall in places to get some, momentum.
And as you say that, Fraley goes out on strikes. So that's the second strikeout of the game for Pierce, and that's one out here in the top of the second inning. And Rose Tucker will now be the hitter, hitting .255 with 8 runs driven in.
Pretty sure she had one of the hits last night against Brawley Redden from Greenbrier West, but it was a tough night all the way around. I mean, both pitchers only gave up 2 hits last night, so it was a good softball game.
Yeah, runs are hard to come by.
Yep.
So here's the pitch to Tucker, and that's swung on and missed. Count evens up, a ball and a strike.
Ball had some nice movement on it.
Yes. Very pleasant afternoon here in Coal City, West Virginia. Glad you're with us on Video Productions. The Patriots had got a couple of hits, scored a couple of runs in the bottom of the first inning. We're at the top of the second. 2-0 is the lead. That ball is swung on. And a strike there. I'm not sure if she fouled it or just missed it.
She fouled it. I think she would like to have that one back because she looked like he was kind of right on it. And as a hitter, sometimes you foul a ball straight back. You're right there on the ball, and you're like, man, I'd just like to have that pitch back one time. Yeah,
the reason I said that, Rusty, I didn't hear the ping of the bat. The count evens at 2-2. Now you hear that little ping when the bat makes contact with the ball. I wasn't sure whether she had fouled it back or not.
Yeah.
All right, here comes the 2-2 delivery. And that's swung on, and that's popped up into shallow right field. Actually, the second baseman will go back and make a nice play as Bradbury not only does things with her bat, but also shows how good she is in the field.
Right there, you can see why she's going to Glenville. I mean, that's a play that in high school softball and high school baseball is not made most of the time. It's a tough spot right in between the infielder and the outfielder, one coming in, one going back. You can get a little iffy. You don't want to crash into each other. So, but she went back with authority and made the play.
So now Collins will bat with 2 out, nobody aboard here in inning number 2. Like I said, this is the first of 4 games we will cover. We'll be back here Thursday with Independence and Shady. On Monday, Independence and Liberty, and Tuesday, Independence and Logan, as that pitch is swung on and missed.
I believe Kenzie stepped that one up a notch there. They got on her a little quick.
Yeah, and Collins, too, hasn't had a lot of opportunities at the plate, only batting .167, 2 runs driven in. Here's the 1-1 offering, and that will miss to go to 2-1.
She had a big triple in a walk-off a couple nights ago. I can't remember who they were playing, but she had the triple, and Rhett knocked her in for the winner, and I think it was 8 innings.
This ball swung on, and that gets past Bradbury into right field for a base hit.
That was a solid rip right there.
So that's for the second inning in a row, Rusty, that Beckley has a 2-out hit.
Yep.
And now I see her stepping to the plate.
Should be Reinhardt, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
You kind of wonder what you're going to get here. Typically, after a good defensive play, sometimes you get something, offensively in the next at bat. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, listen, Reinhardt, she made a tremendous catch out in left field to end the inning as he takes a big cut and misses there on the first pitch to her.
Yep. I think about Beckley is they're really young. They're going to be a really good team, but they just have a lot of young kids right now. With a position change for Sexton, having to move her in from the outfield to the infield. They basically have 8 brand new, position players. So, they're still kind of working through that a little bit, but they've been a little up and down this year. It's kind of showed, but they've been good. They've been good.
Yeah, just a work in progress. The 1-1 pitch swung on, and that will be fouled right off the top of the Beckley dugout.
Got her on the fist there a little bit. It's hard to appreciate the movement in softball unless you can get behind the plate a little bit. Much different than a little bit than baseball. If you got a right-hander, you typically don't see a screwball or anything like that, so you kind of know the direction that the ball's coming a little bit. Softball can go all directions, up, down, sideways, backways. It's crazy.
And Reinhardt doing a good job fighting that pitch off to foul that one back. And the 1-2 pitch swung on and missed strike 3 to end the inning. Yeah. So once again, Beckley has a hit. They leave a runner. Middle of the second, Independence 2, Beckley nothing. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
Riley Stewart, is that right?
And we welcome you back to Independence as Emma Simpson will lead things off for the Lady Patriots here in the bottom half of the second inning. Independence in front, 2-0. And so far, Rusty and Beckley's first 2 at-bats, really the same thing. They got 2 out, then they get a hit in the top of the first, and then Independence gets them out. And then same way in the top of the second, they get 2 outs, they get a hit, and then Independence gets them out.
It's good to get a little success. Like you say, after struggling last night. But, you want to try to get those hits, in the first couple batters, so you can try to do something, move them around a little bit. With 2 outs, you're kind of limited, as far as bunting and things like that goes to get runners advanced.
So Simpson will lead things off for Independence, leading the ball game 2-0. Emma Simpson, a junior, batting .306 with 10 runs driven in. Fraley's ready in the pitch. Kind of got away from her, looked like. So ball 1.
Probably hasn't had a chance to drive in a lot of runs because the ones in front of her are knocking them in all the time.
Yeah.
Independence got a pretty stout lineup. They're tough.
Well, yeah, when you're talking about, hitting over 300, batting in the 7th hole, and
right.
you're hitting over 300.
Yeah. And like I say, they play a rough schedule.
This ball is hit foul. She's like way out in front of that one as he fouls it down the third baseline.
Wow. And Ken Atkins makes no effort there. He could have dove for that.
You don't want to die for a foul ball, especially on your own team.
You got to lay out, man. You got to lay out.
Yep. That's one thing as you look, Rusty, down the line. There's a lot of foul room, a lot of foul ground there down the third baseline, as well as from our broadcast location. I can't
pretty
see
similar.
I can't see quite as far down the right field line as we can.
Yeah, I tell you that bus down there in the left field corner or left field parking lot's in danger.
And here's the pitch. And that swung on, and that's skied out into left field. This should be playable and routine, and a nice job by Reinhardt. She made a great catch earlier. That was routine.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are the ones you worry about,
right,
but she's able to squeeze that one with no problem.
Yeah, and I tell you, people think, softball, it's tricky because that ball is so big that your glove, sometimes it's hard to get it wrapped on it, and it's routine plays are just not routine a lot of times.
So Cook will now be the hitter.
This is one I've been really impressed with this year. She's been hitting the ball really well. Kind of getting her chance this year to play, and she's taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, as soon as you say that, she takes a big cut and fouls it back. Yeah, Cook is batting .361 with 2 home runs and 15 runs driven in.
Yeah, she can hit it.
And that's something to with numbers like that. If she takes a ball, numbers like that, and batting in the ace slot.
She caught my attention early in the year with some really good games, and because I really wasn't real familiar with her, from the previous years, and you kind of start watching kids that start producing, and there you go. I mean,
as soon as you say that ball's hit the center field, and that will fall in between there, like in center and left, and that will fall for a hit. That's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Independence.
That's a good swing. I mean, she got up top, and the ball was a little high, but she got up there and got on top of it a little bit and drove it into the right center.
So now that'll bring Stewart to the plate, Riley Stewart, with batting .286 with 2 runs driven in.
Well, let's see what we got here, because Coach Atkins likes to bunt. He likes to slap.
The ball's hit right up the middle. Can Beckley turn two? They can't. That's an error. And that would have been a potential double play.
Wow.
And that will be an error on the shortstop for Beckley, and that will allow Independence to have runners at first and second. Now, Independence is good enough where you can't give them extra outs.
Not with the top of the lineup coming up now, and I mean, unfortunately, I think she was just a step ahead of what catching the ball. She was looking to try to make that double play, but as we're always told when we play, you got to secure that first out. And now they're in a little bit of a jam here with first and second one out.
Yeah, back to the top of the lineup with Bradbury.
And typically, Cassidy's, hitting with nobody on base, because she's leading off. But now she's got runners on base, so I'm sure she's geared up for this.
So, Rusty, do they still use the term ducks on the pond?
I actually hear that a little bit from time to time, and probably us old-timers are the ones throw that out there. But
well, I know would know what I'm talking about, because that is something that you and I have heard through the days.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So, Bradbury walked and scored a run back in the first inning. And here comes the 2-0 pitch to her with Independence has 2 on.
It's a big pitch right here. It's a big pitch.
And this ball is fouled, kind of fouled out of play down the third baseline.
Yeah, I mean that's not the swing Cassidy wanted right there. You got the advantage, and you want to really be in attack mode when that ball's coming at you a little bit. And she kind of got a little bit slappy there, and that she had a chance to drive that one.
Beckley will come in at the corners. Here comes the 2-1 pitch.
That's a good little pitch.
Yeah, but now Fraley in trouble here at 3-1. She's got to you got to come in, got to be over the plate on this one.
Yeah, especially when you have Parks coming up next. What was
I'm
the
not
call
sure what
there?
we got. I don't know what happened.
Did they call her out? Yeah, they called her out for leaving the base too early.
Wow, I don't know how you score that, but anyway.
Well, that's the thing in softball. You can't leave the base until the pitch is released.
And there's ball 4 and the pass ball, but now runners at the corner. So that's a big play for Independence.
That's frustrating as a coach, because that's just a mental mistake there. There's no reason to be off the base early. When you're behind a runner.
Well, yeah, you got a runner already out there. So Bradbury walks for the second time, and now Parks, who doubled and scored, drove in a run. She'll hit now with 2 on and 2 out. And this ball's hit right up the middle over the shortstop's head, and that'll drive in another run.
Probably going to drive in 2.
May have a play at the plate.
Bradbury can fly.
And there will be no throw, and that'll be 2 more runs, and Independence will extend its lead to 4-0.
Yeah, anything in the gap with Cassidy on base, it's going to be a score. She can motor.
So that'll be Park's second hit of the ball game.
And that really, as a coach, kind of drives you crazy, because that's a run you just tossed away. I mean, it may not come back to haunt them, but it can haunt you in big games.
And now this will be Lilly, who grounded out her first at bat, Emma Lilly, the center fielder, 0 for 1. So Independence has plated 2 in the first, and now 2 more here in the second. If Beckley figures maybe they helped them out, they did with an error, and then Independence helps Beckley out by having a runner leave too soon.
Yep.
And as you said, Rusty, which is that pitch gets away from the catcher and allows the base runner to go to third and take a huge turn at third. But when you have a runner ahead of you, there's no reason why you should ever leave early.
Right. Well, and the other side of that is Beckley's kind of looking at it as like, okay, we make that routine play and just get the one out, then we get the gift. We're out of this inning, get no runs.
This ball was fouled. Good cut that time. Nice cut by Lily. But that ball had some heat on it. Fraley had some good heat on that pitch.
That was a good pitch and a good swing, and kind of met with a foul ball straight back. So
now that wind you talk about starting to whip up a little bit.
Yeah.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that's going to bounce to the plate.
That's a good job by the catcher.
Yeah.
That's
Casey Fraley.
Tough ball to handle there.
Yeah. So 2 runs in this inning, 2 in the first, 4-0 the Independence lead. This ball was fouled back out of play. And that'll get the count to full. So Independence with 4 runs on 4 hits in a Beckley era, as the Patriots bat here in the home half of the second inning and leading the ball game 4-0. So here comes the payoff pitch. And that's swung on, and that's skied into shallow right. The second baseman going back and just couldn't make the play, and that'll get a run in. That'll be a hit. The second baseman there, as Stoneback just looked like the ball was going to carry. I thought it was going to go a little further out there.
Typically, a lot of what I see in the infielders like that is they just don't get back and come forward just a little bit. You know, I mean, they're almost like backing up, letting the ball play behind them, and you got to get back there and get forward a little bit. That's tough for Beckley because, it's 2 plays that, you feel like should have been made, and they make those 2 plays. Actually make the first one, you're out of the inning with no runs.
So now it's let's say the Independence is good enough. You can't help them along. Beckley's opened the door for them, and Independence able to score 3 here in this inning.
And I can just about guarantee you Emma's on go here. Emma Lily's on go.
Yeah, probably on the first pitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're going to get her in scoring position, and, then you got Bella and Peyton right behind her. So, that you're digging a hole here that it's going to be really, really hard to get out of.
Yeah, and obviously in any game, but especially you don't want to you get too far behind. Now the rule in softball is what you say 10 after 3 innings.
I think it's 15 after 3 innings now. Yeah, and then it's 8 after 5. I'm pretty sure they kind of changed that up on me a little bit, and right. Okay.
So the hitter will be Bella Lilly. She's 0 for 1. She flied out to center field back in the first inning. So Independence with a 5 spot, 2 in the first, 3 here in the second. They're not done batting yet. So Bella Lilly digs in, and here comes the pitch from Fraley. And that's swung on, and as you called it, Rusty, Emma Lilly off on the first pitch, but you have to come back and do the foul.
A little surprised that Bella swung at that.
Yeah, because you want to try to protect her,
Yeah, you want to get her, she's going to steal the base.
Well, that's what I say. That's what I mean by protecting her. You don't have to swing the bat because she's going to get it anyway.
Exactly.
The 0-1 pitch, and as she does that time, as she does get the base.
She's just fast too. I mean, you can tell why her and Cassidy are going to play at the next level. I mean, they've got all the components, plus they're fast. I mean, speed's is the deal to the next level.
Yeah. So 3 runs, 3 hits in the inning, and Independence still looking for more.
Ooh.
That was in tight.
Got in a little.
Yeah.
Got in there, kitchen there just
got
a
in
little
a little
bit.
tight on that one. Yeah.
Of course, she Bella had swung at that first one on the inside, so that's smart pitching to try to go back in there and fish for another strike.
This ball swung on. That's right over the shortstop's head. That's going to fall in for a hit and drive in another run. And Independence has been able to take advantage of a couple of Beckley mistakes and put their 4th run of the inning and take a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, and we talked about that at the beginning. Independence is just too good to be handing them extra outs and more base runners because they're going to punish you. And credit to Independence, that's what they've done. You get the opportunities, you've got to take advantage of it, and good teams do, and they are.
Yep, 4 runs in the inning, 4 hits in the inning. As Bream, the hitter, she got hit her first time up. So what's turned into a really nice inning for the Patriots. Beckley makes a play here or there, and that's not the case, but this ball is hit to the shortstop, and back to the first baseman, Tucker. She's able to go unassisted to the bag, but a big inning for Independence as they played 4 after 2, 6-0 Independence here on Video Productions.
General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
So you're ready to get started on that home remodel? Then America's #1 exterior remodeler is here to help. For over 19 years, Window World of Beckley has helped homeowners in our area take care of their greatest investment. We make it easy to remodel your home with special financing options and convenient monthly payments. Because we are locally owned and operated, you can expect the best in customer service. We're excited to see what you have in mind. We look forward to helping you create the home of your dreams.
This evening's game is brought to you in part by Infinity Coal Company. And Infinity Coal Company offers no premium, low deductible health insurance with dental and vision coverage. They also offer a company-paid life insurance, prescription drug coverage, and a company matching 401k plan. So you can check them out on their Facebook at United Coal Company. Well, we're going to the third inning here in the coal camp of Independence High School in Coal City, West Virginia. Maris Lowry, Rusty Udy, heavy hitter Nick Eskins producing and directing, Jackie Moon on camera. And so far, Rusty, it's been Independence, a 2-run first and a big 4-run second as they lead 6-0 as we start inning number 3.
Yeah, I'm sure when Coach Bird came in today, the last thing he wanted to see was an early deficit. And, 6-run deficit to Independence is not where you want to be.
So leading things off will be Brickford for Beckley. It'll be the 9-hitter and then back to the top of the order with 1 and 2. But Beckley, they desperately need base runners. And Rusty, the first 2 innings, they got the first 2 out, and then they got their third batter of the inning got a hit.
Yeah, they need to get some people on, and if they could get the 9-hitter on, that would be really good with the top coming back up. But credit to Kenzie Pierce. I mean, he's done a really good job of handcuffing them and keeping runners, off the base early, and so the 2 out hits have not hurt her.
Here's the 0-2 to Brickford, and that swung on and missed strike 3.
Took a good rip at that.
So that's the first out of the Beckley third inning.
I think when you see Beckley come to the plate, you can see that youth a little bit. And they're going to be good, but it's just going to take a little time.
Yeah, that's 4 strikeouts for Pierce back to the top of the order as Rhett. She was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. She hits now with 1 out, nobody on here in the third. Ball 1. Turned out to be a very pleasant. Got a little bit of breeze going. We don't mind. As long as we don't have rain, we're good.
That's right. That's right. And it's got the, sometimes you don't want to be in the shade this time of year because it's cold, but this is kind of perfect. You don't have the sun beating on you, and it's really nice.
So far, so good.
All we need is a hot dog.
Yeah, well, it's hard for me to talk and eat at the same time. Somebody might wish I would eat a hot dog so I'd stop talking, right? As this pitch is a called strike and make it count 2-1.
I know Beckley's trying to get some base runners, but boy, I like being aggressive 2-0.
And there's another call, beautiful pitch on the corner.
Yep, she hit the same spot twice, and the umpire likes it, so just keep going there.
Yep, you got to make them swing the bat.
Yep.
And here comes the 2-2. And that swung on and missed strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts here to lead off for Beckley here in the third inning.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little youth there. She let a couple good ones go and kind of had to hit the pitcher's pitch then, and that makes it a little tougher.
So it'll be Sexton now, and she will hit. And for the last 2 innings, Beckley had the first 2 runners making out, and the third batter of the inning was able to get a hit. But Beckley, like you said, it's the youth movement and trying to work in progress. Lays down a bunt, and Pierce able to field throw to the first, and that was a quick inning. 1-2-3, middle of the third, 6-0 Independence. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
It's a little bad luck there.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
At Access Health, we treat your children the way we want our children to be treated, with care, compassion, and expertise.
We focus on treating the person, not just the symptom. Your health and well-being are our priority.
And when you face uncertainties, we're there with advanced technology and compassionate care.
Home half the third inning, and Independence with a 6-0 lead. Rusty, 6 runs on 6 hits, but a big Beckley error contributed to part of those 6 runs.
Yeah, they use a couple of plays there. I mean, I think they fall in the category of you should make, and that's kind of the thing right now in high school baseball and softball is the teams that make the plays are the teams that are winning the games, and it's a strange thing. You see a lot of errors anymore.
Well, Rusty, we talk on any level from the big leagues on down. You can't afford to give teams, especially a good hitting team like Independence that scores a lot. You can't give them extra outs.
Well, and it came at the worst time. You're right at the top of the order. You're trying to get out of the trouble, and if you just make the routine play, even get the 1 out. They would have been fine. So it's. You got to keep playing forward. You got to keep looking forward.
So Savannah Stanley will lead things off for Independence. She is 0 for 1, flied out to left field her first time up back in the first inning. So Stanley digs in on the right-hand side of the plate. And the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes.
Independence has been really disciplined at the plate today, too. They've swung at good pitches. Laid off the bad ones.
Stanley, Sampson, and Cook, 6, 7, and 8 hitters. And now 3-0. But you got to think if you're Beckley, Rusty, you're to the point, really you can't afford to give up really very many more runs.
And it's a tough situation, and it's not, just because, Carly is young. But, it weighs on the pitcher, when your team is struggling to field balls, routine balls, that makes it tough. And, you start pressing, you start, trying to be too good, too precise. And right there, we talk about it. That's a great play.
That was a beautiful play by Sexton. That's tremendous
I think
play.
they moved a new girl into there.
They may have. Yeah. We'll have to look at the roster. That was a tremendous play, and that was a much more difficult play than the one that they didn't make.
Yeah, that was a bullet. Yeah.
So there's the first out of the Independence third inning. And the hitter now will be Sampson. She's 0 for 1, flied out to left field in the second inning, fouls this one down toward her dugout down the third baseline. Yeah, we'll have to check to see who that young lady was. That was a tremendous play because no one said anything of making a position switch to us. And we'll check that out for you in a minute.
Can you see her number?
No, I can't because the way it's down in her.
It might be Hadley Red.
It could be. Red, that's who it is.
A little bit of distance
Red.
And the fence makes it. Yeah, now I can tell. They wear the mask on the infield. Sometimes I can't tell. It's like football. Sometimes these kids, I don't recognize them because they got their helmets on and I pass right by them.
So 1-2 is the count to Sampson. And here's the 1-2 offering. And laid off of that one to even the count at 2-2. We'll be back here Thursday night. And it'll be the same time here on Video Productions, 5:30. And a big Raleigh County rivalry between Independence and Shady Thursday night. This ball was popped up, and actually it's going to carry out into the outfield. It looked like when it was first hit, Rusty, I didn't think it was going to carry as far as it did, but Reinhardt able to squeeze it, and she's played a really good left field.
Absolutely impressed with that young lady. I mean, that's, sometimes, like we say, routine fly balls are not routine because, you got to squeeze that big softball, and, she's made 2 good, solid plays and then 1 really good play. So, good. That's what you want as a pitcher. You got to have a team back you up a little bit. That's two good defensive plays this inning.
So 2 up, 2 down in the Independence third inning, and Cook will be the hitter. Got a hit and scored part of a 4-run second inning, her last at bat. And that pitch will miss to even the count at 1-1. But if you're Beckley and you can get out of this 1-2-3, you got to maybe, hopefully, this kind of momentum could carry over to your bats.
Right. And you still have basically the top part of the order up, so you got a chance to do some damage.
2-1. Like I said, you really couldn't ask for a better day weather-wise.
Oh, it's
just a little cloudy in the mid-60s.
Yeah, picture perfect.
And the 2-1 delivery. And that's swung on. That's hit down the right field line and coming in and make a beautiful catch.
Three solid plays for
That
Beckley.
is Brickfield able to haul that in, Brickford to haul that in for the third out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 3. Independence in front, 6-0 here on Video Productions. Third inning line score is Independence 6 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Beckley, no runs, 2 hits and an error. As we go to the fourth inning, Rusty, a 6-0 Independence lead. Beckley will have their third, fourth, and fifth hitters up, the meat of their order, as Smallwood will lead things off. She got one of the 2 Beckley hits back in the first inning.
This is kind of go time for Beckley because, Independence has already have 6 runs, and they're kind of, getting close to that 8-run maximum once you get to 5 innings, and you kind of need to get some runs here to cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, because the one thing about it, you've got to be able to score a little bit with Independence. You can't have them scoring and then you go multiple innings without getting any runs.
Right.
But this ball was hit into center field, and the center fielder comes over and gets a nice play up and under it is Emma Lilly, and she had a beat on that from the very beginning.
That's one of those players that you hit it towards, you just call it an out.
You know it's going to be an out, yes.
Yeah, she's very good.
And like you said, she's going to play at the next level.
Right, and that outfield has always kind of been her thing. She's really good at it. I mean, they've had to use her in different places. She's always been flexible to move around for whatever Independence needed, but, boy, she's a good outfielder.
So Casey Fraley will now be the hitter, and, she will now hit with 1 out, nobody aboard, and that's the thing. Beckley's only able to muster up a couple of hits.
Yeah.
They really haven't been able to put multiple players on base.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the bugaboo for Beckley a little bit, is hitting the ball a little bit.
And this ball is going to be out of play over behind us. That's one thing, I don't know if they ever hit it far enough to the road. An innocent bystander could be driving down the road up here and then maybe catch a foul ball.
Back when they had those those real hard-throwing pitchers, Paige Maynard and Holly Brim, pitchers like that, foul balls went a long ways.
1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to Casey Fraley, and her sister Carly Fraley is on deck. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 6-0 the lead for Independence. 2 in the first, 4 in the second. Pierce has been really good, only allowing 2 hits. This ball was swung on. It's hit to the outfield. Center fielder, once again, making the plays. The ball was really hit maybe a little bit more toward right field.
I was going to say, that's good range.
Lily covers a lot of ground. Really, you think that's the right fielder's ball, but the center fielder calls her off Lily and able to squeeze it.
And really, she was under it, too. It wasn't like she was a running catch. I mean, that shows her speed. She got over there and made a good catch on it.
So 2 up, 2 down, and Pierce ready for the 1-1 delivery. And that's just a little outside. Boy,
close.
I was going to say that was right,
pitch.
almost on the same place where the last pitch was. The umpire said just a little off the plate.
Didn't see any qualms from the catcher, but that looked like a really good pitch.
And that one's a little low, 3-1. So now, you're thinking, hey, you want to hit the ball, but if you can get on with a walk or get whatever you got to do to get
Absolutely.
on base.
Yep.
And here comes the 3-1 delivery, and that's swung on. That's hit to the third baseman. And there's a play across the diamond, and it's 3 up and 3 down, as that was a nice play that time by Lily. So in the middle of the fourth inning, Independence leads Beckley 6-0. We'll be right back here on Video Productions. This evening's broadcast is brought to you by Indoor Air, your Train dealer. Nothing stops a train. And you can reach out to Jeff Varney and their staff at 304-890-2212. Well, Rusty, we're going to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Independence with a 6-0 lead, and it'll be the 9-hitter, then back to the top of the order, 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is, like we said, this is a scary time right now because, Independence only needs a couple runs, and this part of the order has been really effective all day. And if the 9-hitter gets on here, that this could be some real troublesome for Beckley.
Yeah, Stewart reached on an error, her only time at bat back in the second inning, and that's what really helped open the floodgates for that big 4-run second inning for Independence. And the first pitch will be ball 1. So it'll be 9-1 and 2. It's Stewart, Bradbury, and Parks, the first 3 hitters here for Independence in the home half of the fourth inning, and a 6-0 Independence lead. 2 in the first, 4 in the second. Looked like she squared the bunt and called strike.
That might have been a little bit of a screwball there.
Yep.
Couldn't really tell from this angle, but definitely had the batter backing up a little bit and then come back across the plate.
And that's a strikeout. That was a high,
right
hard one right there.
That's your out pitch. That's really well done by the young freshman.
Yeah, and Russ, it's so key to get that first out of the inning.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
especially when you have this threesome coming up right now. I mean, they're dangerous with 1 out. They're incredibly dangerous with no outs and runner on. So
well, here's Bradbury. She's walked both times and she scored both times. So really, technically 0 for 0 with 2 walks, but 2 runs scored.
If she gets on base, there's probably better than average. Well, I would say 75-80% chance she's scoring.
Because you look in the box score and it says it looks like she has a bat, but she scored 2 runs.
Right. Well, and you can see, how her speed has affected things. And you're right. Just the fact her finding a way to get on base, walks almost like a triple with her.
Yeah. And she hits this one right back in the middle. What a play.
Wow.
That's a beautiful play by Carly Fraley. That ball was smoked right back up the middle.
Yep.
So that's 2 out, nobody aboard, and this will bring up Parks. Parks has got a couple of hits, 2 for 2, and scored twice.
Wow, that's still kind of shining there on that defensive play. I mean, that's a great play by the pitcher. It's hard to field your position sometimes as a pitcher.
And, that's one thing I was talking to the Beckley coach, and he's like, I'm not sure, because I told him he could watch the replay of this. And he says, I'm not so sure I want to watch the replay. But I said, no matter what happens, there are a lot of teachable moments and good things, things like that you can see. No quitting the team, nice defensive play, trying to hang in there, and that right there, that was a tremendous play. This ball is hit to the third baseman. Another play, beautiful snag by Smallwood, and it's a 3 up, 3 down.
Well, the last 2 innings, Beckley has wielded the glove.
They have, and after 4, the score remains Independence 6, Beckley nothing. Be right back here on Video Productions.
Well, that was huge.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off. right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
And we welcome you back to Larry Poe Field here at Coal City, West Virginia, with Rusty Udy. I'm Maris Lowry. Going to the top of the 5th inning. Independence leads Beckley 6-0. The game here this evening is brought to you in part by Infinity Coal Company. Infinity Coal offers a no-premium, low-deductible health insurance with dental and vision coverage. They also offer a company-paid life insurance, prescription drug coverage, and a company-matching 401k plan. And you can check them out online at United Coal at their Facebook page, United Coal Company. Well, Rusty, Beckley, the last couple innings have done work with their glove. Now, can it translate to their bat?
I think it's you see the difference in the pitching too, because when you're confident that your fielders are going to make plays, you pitch much better. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they've got to have some hitting and get some runs here because they've just been stymied.
So Tucker will lead things off for Beckley. And she takes a cut at it and fouls it back.
That was a good swing. That's a good attack. Good attack swing.
Tucker entered the ball game batting .255 with 8 runs driven in. She's 0 for 1 as she had a little pop out to the second baseman Bradbury back in the 2nd inning. We're in the top half of the 5th. Independence put 2 across in the 1st and put 4 across in the 2nd.
Yeah, just can't emphasize how big that last inning was for Beckley to get through that.
This ball swung on and hit right over the first baseman's head. That's one of those hits where you hit it where they ain't,
kind
right?
Of seeing eye single a little bit.
And that's something Beckley hasn't had as a leadoff hit. That's their third hit of the ball game.
And that's tough to do because Peyton's got some height, so she's got some reach there, and she got it over her head.
And that's Peyton Brim. You're speaking of the Independence first baseman, and that ball just like, as we watch the replay, like I said, just hit it where they ain't. It just went like right over her head. So for the first time in the ball game, Beckley has the leadoff man aboard as Collins has one of their other hits. Beckley now with 3 hits in the ball game, and she has one of the 3. So Collins now at the dish.
I think we have
I think we're going to have
Mia
a change.
Sider in as a pinch runner.
Yeah. Remember her from back in basketball.
And from soccer.
Goalie.
Goalie.
Yeah, of course, she's a little banged up with her wrist taped up.
Telling us before the game she had a little bit of a fracture there, got hit with a softball, so she's supposed to see the doctor tomorrow, and hopefully she can get back to playing real quick.
Well, I told her that's what she told me, the same thing you just said, and as this pitch is swung on and missed, the throw down to first, that was close, waiting for a call. And I guess they called her safe. But that was very close.
Ooh, well, that was close. I think she got caught snapping just a little bit there.
But what I was going to say, though, Rusty, and I said, well, what if you have to slide in like she did that time with your hand? You might do more damage.
That's what I told her. I was like, got to protect that hand. But I think she didn't expect that to Ava Parks is not only a great offensive player, she's a great defensive catcher.
So 1-1 the count to Collins. There comes the 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. The throw down to first, and Sider back in safely. One thing, she's getting a lot of dust up in her mouth, right? Like she's dove in head first back to the bag each of the 2 throws down there.
Yep.
And this ball way out of the strike zone. That evens the count at 2-2.
You got to be careful easing off that bag.
Well, here's the thing. You're behind like this. You've got the leadoff man on. You can't afford to have a runner get picked off.
Absolutely.
You got to have base runners.
That's right.
And the 2-2 pitch. So now the count will go full. But, yeah, when you're trailing, especially 6 runs, you can't make outs on the bases.
Can't make mistakes.
Right.
You can't make mental mistakes.
So Pierce ready to deal the payoff pitch to Collins. Here it comes. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
think she took a little bit off that one, but put it in a good location, and it got the crucial strikeout.
That's the 5th strikeout, as Reinhardt will now be the hitter. And Reinhardt was a strikeout victim her only other time at the plate. And Pierce ready. Squares the bunt, puts it down. Only plays to first. They'll move the runner into scoring position at second. That was the only play. That's a sacrifice. And with 2 outs now, Beckley has a runner in scoring position.
That was a well-executed bunt and a well-defended bunt. I mean, Beckley made a really good play there, and you could see everybody moving where they needed to be, and then Cassidy gets the ball, and she runs it straight into the infield to kind of watch the runner at second. So.
And the thing, too, Rusty, with a 6-run lead, you don't even worry about trying to get the runner at second. Independence, they made the right play. They knew immediately, didn't even look at the runner at second, just make the play at first.
You can tell they're very well coached. That was a well-oiled machine right there that ran right on that play.
Because, sometimes you think, Rusty, well, you're down 6 runs in Independence. Like, if you're going to give us an out,
right,
we've got to be able to make the play, and you don't worry about the base runner. So now Beckley needs a big 2-out hit.
Should be Bailey Nickel, I believe.
That's right. Bailey Nickel at the plate and takes a big cut. So the count is 0-1. Bailey Nickel in batting for Emma
Brickford.
Yeah. That's one thing we just kind of have to see it on the fly.
Right.
They normally come and tell us, or they announce in the PA.
Yeah.
We don't have that luxury here, so we have to beg our pardon. There's a called strike 3.
So
that will end the inning, and in the middle of the 5th, it's 6-0 Independence. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Good out pitch.
Going to the home half of the 5th inning with Independence in front, 6-0. I'm Maris Lowry with Rusty Udy, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins. And, boy, outside, and Nick is all chilled out with his sunglasses on. Too bad we couldn't put the camera on the heavy hitter. He's really the heavy hitter, Jackie Moon on camera. But, Rusty, we were talking in the break there. You and I, of course, we've been knowing each other for almost 50 years and talking sports almost 50 years. And you've done radio with me. Now you're doing a little streaming video productions, TV, but you've done a lot of writing. So tell us about you got a website going on, and I guess that's relatively new. So tell our audience about what you got going on there.
Yeah, I got a brand new website. It's called sportswithrusty.com. I'm going to focus a lot more just on stories about kids and the game stories that I go to, of course. But we'll still have most of my roundup stuff I'll keep over on my Facebook page. I'll probably maybe make a new Facebook page for that. But yeah, it's just kind of an outlet. And wow.
As you're talking, Emma Lilly leading things off, she's hit by a pitch. And that hurt me sitting over here.
Absolutely.
So Independence has the leadoff batter aboard, and she's got to try to shake that off.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just an outlet to, kind of get some stories on the kids around our area. I got recent stories are on Isaac Agee, the state champion hurdler at Greenbrier West, and the shuttle hurdle team there, and him and his best friend Brandon Pottiker are both going to WU Tech, and so things like that will be on there. kind of keep up with, just more than just the games, because there's a lot of great stories about these kids, I mean, people have overcome a lot of stuff to get where they are and accomplish the things they've accomplished. So try to do that on there.
So once again, if anyone looking for the information that Rusty said, the website again?
sportswithrusty.com.
All right, so Emma Lily's aboard being hit by a pitch. Now it's Bella Lily. She's 1 for 2 as Emma Lily able to get
She must
second.
not hit her foot too hard.
Well, if she runs like that, maybe everybody ought to get hit in the foot, right?
But you just about guarantee you she's first pitch going. So, like we say, they only need a couple runs here.
And this pitch is swung on. It's hit right over the third baseman's head, out into left field for a hit. Rounding third and coming to home is Emma Lily, and that takes the lead to 7-0, a touchdown, an extra point, and Independence with its 7th run of the ball game.
Yeah, that was a good swing. Just drove it right into the left field, right over Aubrey's head there. And of course, the key thing is leadoff runner getting on most of the time is going to score on you, and especially when they can steal bases like that.
Yeah, second hit of the ball game for Bella Lily, and this ball is hit out into right field. That gets past the right fielder. That'll be a hit and an error, as that was Bream rather, and this will plate the run to make it 8-0, and that's the ball game.
I think it should be the game.
That is the game. I think the umpire just waved it off as that is the 8th run. So that will be a hit and an error. So that will be.
Bream got right up on top of that.
Yes.
Made a good swing on that one.
8 runs on 8 hits. And that will be the ball game. It is 8-0 here in the 5th inning. So we'll take a break and we'll come back. We'll recap this Independence victory. As Independence with the win will go to 16-6. Beckley will fall to 10-9. We'll be right back here on Video Productions.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
At Access Health, we treat your children the way we want our children to be treated, with care, compassion, and expertise.
We focus on treating the person, not just the symptom. Your health and well-being are our priority.
And when you face uncertainties, we're there with advanced technology and compassionate care.
And we welcome you back to Larry Poe Field here at Coal City at Independence High School. Maris Lowry with Rusty Udy, and in a shortened game because of the 8-run rule. And for those who don't know, Rusty will explain that to them here in a minute, that when one team has another team by 8 runs in the 5th inning, they call the game. So final score, Independence beats Beckley 8-0. Unofficially, the line score is 8 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Independence, no runs, 2 hits, and an error for Beckley. With the win, Independence goes to 16-6, and with the loss, Beckley goes to 10-9. Your line score is brought to you by Indoor Air. Indoor Air is your train dealer. Nothing stops a train. You can dial them up at 304-890-2212. Jeff Varney and Company will be able to take good care of you. Also, the line score brought to you in part by Infinity Coal Company, and they offer a no-premium, low-deductible health insurance with dental and vision coverage. They also offer a company-paid life insurance, prescription drug coverage, and a company-matching 401k plan. You can apply for a job with Infinity Coal, and you can apply online through their Facebook page at United Coal Company. Well, Rusty, it was a big second inning that led this Independence. They scored half of their runs in that second inning, and they never looked back as they win the ball game by a score of 8-0. Like I said, they got 2 in the first, 4 in the second, and they played 2 more in the 5th. And the rule is after 5, if you're up 8, the game is called. And I guess that's changed because it always used to be the 10-run rule. Now it's the 8-run rule.
I really like the 10-run rule better, like it is in baseball. I mean, I just think 8's a little tough, but I don't think it would have been much of a difference in the outcome here because, Independence was just played better today. I mean, the top of their lineup was really tough. I mean, Parks had 3 RBIs. Bella Lily had 3 RBIs, so they had, all of them were getting on base. They're just tough, and Kenzie Pierce pitched really well. She kind of stymied Woodrow, and we knew coming in that Woodrow was going to have to hit the ball and get some runs, and they just couldn't get it done today.
And as you said, Rusty, the top of the lineup really did work for Independence because 6 of the 8 runs were scored by their top 3 players, or top 3 batters, I should say. Or Bransbury, she scored 2. Parks able to score 2, and Emma Lilly able to score 2. So 6 of their runs plated, like I said, by their top 3 batters.
And, you know, we knew they were going to be lethal at the top. You know, that's those are the ones you try to get through. And, you know, credit to Carly. She got through that group one time, but, you know, you just can't hold that group down. So, it kind of the way we went the way we expected. You know, Independence has been playing really good ball, and it was going to be a tough day for Woodrow to try to win this game.
So the winning pitcher will be Pierce for Independence. Losing pitcher will be Fraley. Our next game will be back here at Larry Poe Field here in Coal City on Thursday night. And it'll be a Raleigh County rival. It'll be Shady taking on Independence. And, Rusty, you and I will have it. We'll be back on the air at 5:15 with a 5:30 first pitch. Final comments, Rusty?
Just, kind of the way we expected today. I think that game, Thursday should be a dandy. Every time Shady and Independence play, it's always good. So, hopefully some Woodrow, the youth can kind of keep growing. I think they have a really good shot, to win their section. It's Independence. It's Oak Hill and Riverside, so they have a good shot to be there. Riverside's still a good team, but it's a growing experience, and hopefully they're ready by postseason.
Well, just looking ahead at the forecast to see where there's a little rain maybe creeping in Thursday morning. Hopefully that will be away by the time we're going to try to play here on Thursday night.
Right. Hopefully not. It's good getting these games in, because you don't want too many breaks at this time of the year because we're right on the doorstep of the postseason.
Yeah, round and third headed for home the regular season, going to the postseason. Well, we appreciate everybody at Independence, including Athletic Director John Lilly, that made this happen. Our entire staff, actually the main man, Mr. Butch Mounts, here at the game site here this evening. Always a pleasure to work with the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, and also Jackie Moon, a great job on camera. For Rusty Udy, I'm Maris Lowry, repeating the final score. Independence beats Beckley in a 5-inning shortened game by the score of 8-0. Till we talk to you Thursday, good evening, everybody, from Video Productions.